Hello, welcome back to another video where today we are going to be talking about this here, the 30th anniversary edition of What's the Story Morning Glory. Before we get into this video properly, I'd just like to say last night Bonehead announced that he's been diagnosed with prostate cancer, so obviously it's really sad news. I hope he gets better soon, makes a full recovery. He's not going to be on the next few dates of the reunion tour, which is sad, but yeah, hopefully he gets better soon and makes a full recovery. I believe he's going to be back on stage with them in South America, so he won't be watching this, but if you are Bonehead, all the best. Anyway, yes, the 30th anniversary edition of Morning Glory, the third biggest selling studio album of all time here in the UK. So, originally, as with the Definitely Maybe one last year, if you haven't seen my review of that one, there's a link down below. I wasn't going to buy it, and then basically this here is the Blood Records version, which looks really nice. So I thought I'd buy that one because I got the Definitely Maybe one as well. So the plan in this video today is to show you this copy that I own, and then we will talk about the new stuff on here, which is the 5 Unplugged tracks. We're not going to be talking about the regular album because we've talked about that enough in the past. So I'll start off here by showing you this copy of the album that I own. Like I say, the Blood Records version. It's got a lenticular cover, like the Definitely Maybe one last year, which looks really nice. It works a lot better this year, where you can actually get it to differentiate between the two. It was quite hard with the Definitely Maybe one to get it to do it. Hopefully you can see that here and it's working okay. The idea of the covers, the new one is, I'm assuming it's the same thing as the Definitely Maybe one last year, which the idea of that one was Ghosts of the Past. That's why it was an empty cover. The same thing as the case here, I'm assuming. Anyway, this is Berwick Street in London. If you didn't know, I've been there multiple times now. Definitely worth a visit if you're ever down in London. Anyway, yes, that's the front cover. That is the back cover, which has this written piece about the album from Johnny Hopkins. He did it in March this year. I won't read you the whole thing, but yeah, if you want to read it and you can see it there, pause the video. Another interesting thing, there is the typo on Wonderwall. It's only got the one L at the end of the wall. That was, I believe, on original 90s pressings. All reissues fixed it. But yeah, in this instance, they've put it back on and keeping with the originals. Number, as you can see anyway, is 1892 out of 5,000. I kind of wished I'd got 1995. We're not far off it, but obviously I've got a lower number than that. I should say as well, Blood Records, they only did 5,000 copies this year, which is a bit disappointing. I know the demand was much higher than what they had. Basically, last year, we Definitely Maybe, they did 15,000 pressings, and it took forever for them all to shift. It took forever to sell. But now Oasis are back together, and I think they probably could have got away with 15,000 copies of this one. Earlier this year, they also did a reissue of Shoulder of Giants, Blood Records, which I didn't get. I'm really annoyed about. It was limited to 3,000 copies, and when it got announced, I was in a restaurant eating a meal, and by the time I'd finished, yeah, it sold out, so I didn't get one, which really annoys us. But anyway, it's a gatefold, so there you go. That, I believe, is Rockfield Studios in Wales. Down there, you've got the personnel, and I think it's just the personnel. I'll read some of it to you. Yeah, personnel, all that jazz. So let's have a look at these records. I haven't seen these yet, other than online. So yeah, we'll look at this one first. So firstly, here we have the, I'm assuming that's what it tells you at the bottom what this is. It says, "Hello, roll with it, tape from the What's the Story Morning Glory recording sessions at Rockfield." So that must be what the master tape's held in. So there you go. And then you've got some guitars on the other side. I'll read to you what it says at the bottom. "The Strat belongs to Johnny Marr. The amp belonged to the Hollies. The acoustic is the one you hear on Wonderwall. And the Epiphone took me round the world one way and back the other. A priceless collection." Noel Gallagher. Anyway, we're not interested in that because, oh, wow. Look at that. That is stunning. Side 1, side 2. God, that is beautiful. The colours this year, the idea with the Definitely Maybe one last year, it was sort of this colour as well. Like I said, link below if you want to see the Blood Records version from last year. The idea of that one was it was supposed to be the colours of the album sort of all compressed down into the record itself. I think they did that with the Shoulder Giant one as well. They haven't done that here. This is sort of the same colour as the Definitely Maybe one, although there is little bits of brown in. I assume the reason being that the Morning Glory cover is not the sort of thing you would want to compress all the colours of together, because it's not the most colourful one. It's all quite brown and beigey, the Morning Glory cover. Anyway, that's the first of the discs. Let's have a look. But we'll go back in and we will show you the second one now. There you go, you've got the Some Might Say handwritten lyrics, if you're interested. And then on this side, we have a ticket from, what does this say? Ticket for the Blackpool Ballroom gig on the 13th of September 1995. The first gig Oasis played after What's the Story Morning Glory was released. But that's not true. How's that what? Morning Glory came out in October. That's wrong. Anyway, the record. Wow. Oh, that looks even better, this one. Don't know if you can see it that well here. There's like little brown dots all over it. That is stunning. Oh, yes. Love that. So, yeah, there you go. That is the Blood Records version of the album, and it is absolutely stunning. Just like the Morning Glory one was not the Morning Glory, the Definitely Maybe one was last year. Anyway, like I say, because this is the Blood Records one, the new bonus tracks aren't on here. This is just the standard album, and the only reason I bought it was for its lenticular cover and the fact the vinyl looks nice. But otherwise, with this release, I wouldn't have bothered buying it. Same with the Definitely Maybe one last year. The Definitely Maybe one last year, arguably, is a better one than this one because you got more on it. Last year, you got the Mono Valley version of Definitely Maybe, which was fantastic. Some of the versions of them songs are my go-to versions. I really like the Mono Valley stuff. And we also got Sawmill's outtakes. And this year, we ain't really got anything. We've got 5 unplugged acoustic tracks that Nola's recorded. But other than that, nothing. No outtakes or anything like that. No Liam singing Step Out like a lot of people wanted. And I think the reason there'll be no outtakes is because I don't genuinely think there'll be that many outtakes from Morning Glory due to the nature of how the album was recorded. So we'll briefly talk about these 5 unplugged tracks now. So if I had to sum this whole package up as an overall word, I would say disappointing. Underwhelming. It could have been so much more than it actually is. But the 5 unplugged tracks that we've got on here are Cast No Shadow, Morning Glory, Wonderwall, Acquiesce and Champagne Supernova. And what Noel's done with these is he's taken the original vocal tracks from the original records of those songs and recorded a new backing track to go with it, which is just basically stripped back on acoustic guitars, pianos, mellotrons, all that sort of stuff. But it's basically removing all the electric guitars and the mellotrons and all that stuff, doing the stringy stuff. And I've got to be honest, they're quite good, these unplugged versions. I'm pleasantly surprised by them. Cast No Shadow is not all that different from the finished version. Although, correct me if I'm wrong on this, it sounds like Nola's maybe re-recorded some new backing vocals on the chorus of this one. Because he seems to be hitting some high notes that you can't... Maybe they are there on the original track and they're just buried deep in the mix. But yeah, it sounds good. Morning Glory acoustically, this surprisingly works really, really well. I really like this version of the song. My brother has told me, I don't know if this is true or not, but he seems to think that Noel has merged this version with his MTV Unplugged version from the 90s, because on the chorus, apparently it sounds like when Noel's doing the backing vocals on The Well, how he sang it at the MTV Unplugged. I don't know if that's true, I can't hear that myself, but my brother claims that's what's going on. What's next? Wonderwall. Of the 5 Unplugged tracks, this is probably the most underwhelming one. Just because Wonderwall itself is kind of an unplugged track anyway, it's not really that different from the record, this one. Except all the sort of mellotrons doing the strings have all been removed, but otherwise not all that different. Acquiesce is a pleasant surprise, that works really well acoustically, and Champagne Supernova at the end is by far the best of the 5. I really like this version of the song, and I love that they've got an acoustic guitar doing the guitar solo. It sounds brilliant. So that's all there is on this in terms of new stuff. The rest of it's just a regular album. It's not even a new mix or a new remaster, it's just a 2014 remaster. And it begs the question, because these unplugged mixes is the sort of thing I imagine Noel made these probably in half a day, and maybe a full day tops. It was not a lot of work that will have had to gone into this. And I don't understand why they haven't done the full album, because I know there were people who argue, oh, well, some of these tracks won't work unplugged, which, yeah, on paper you would think that, but arguably the 2 songs you would think would not work unplugged, stripped back, is Morning Glory and Champagne Supernova, and them 2 are on here. So why is the rest of the album not being done? I mean, if the full album had been done unplugged to this standard of what these 5 songs are, I'd maybe have considered buying the full package. But as it stands, they haven't done it. So that's it. That's the Morning Glory 30th Anniversary Edition. Like I say, disappointing. It's a shame because the unplugged tracks are actually really, really good. It's just, I wish there was more of them. I don't understand the logic behind only doing 5 of them, 4 from the album and a B-side. So, yeah, that's it. Kind of a disappointing release, but nevertheless, nice lenticular cover and beautiful vinyl. I'm going to give it a spin some point this afternoon. Anyway, that's it. I don't think, well, there won't be any 30th anniversary editions next year in 2026. I imagine we'll get a live album from the tour, the Oasis Live 25 tour will be the big thing next year. And then it would be here now in 2027 Ooh. So yeah. Next Oasis release, however, a few videos back when I think it was a video where I was talking about Time Flies, I said I imagine that Familiar to Millions will be getting a reissue. And I'll tell you what else, I bet you Familiar to Millions will be coming along on vinyl soon. And lo and behold, I was right, because next month Familiar to Millions is getting reissued, and I'm getting it because it's a very, very reasonably priced package for a 3 LP set. I've seen it as cheap as 45 quid, which is bloody cheap for 3 LPs in this day and age. I was expecting it to be at least 75 quid, so the fact it's down like almost half of that is fantastic. So I will be reviewing Familiar to Millions and showing it off when that comes out next month. But for now, have you bought this? Let me know. What do you think of it? What do you think of the Unplugged tracks? Do you wish there was more? Which is your favourite of them all? Anyway, yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on a future video. Goodbye.